Hey guys, Bonehead here again, and today I'm talking about the debate between the LoL and Dota 2 players. Now, I'm on the Dota 2 side of the fence, more than the LoL, and hopefully as I go through this recording here, I'll explain why. I talked to a lot of LoL players about coming across the Dota 2, but the main thing, they'll go on about how LoL is free to play and they don't want to spend the money on Dota 2. Well, yeah, Dota 2, it costs around $30, but after that you don't have any monthly subscription or anything. It's all said and done. But the people who talk about this, they're the same people who play LoL, but they spend money on items and unlocks in LoL. And some of them have spent more than the $30 that you need to be able to play Dota, which I think is quite funny, but that's alright. I'll forgive them for that. If you're a LoL player and you're playing it with a bunch of friends and everything, you spent real money on your runes and things like that, and you're having a lot of fun, then yeah, keep playing it. That's fine. But if you're a new player to the genre, or you tried LoL a while ago and stopped, and you're looking at Dota 2 thinking it's just another LoL, then I say give it a go, because it's amazing. These games, they're so similar. It's exactly the same style of thing, but they're very different games. So for anyone who's confused about the two, here's a few of the similarities and differences that I'll go through. Both the games are basically the same. You pick a hero, like a warrior, mage, creature thing, team up with other heroes, and fight against an enemy group of heroes. You're in a base at your end, a base at the enemy end. You have several paths that connect the two together. The team that kills the other base first wins. So, that's basically the same idea. They both even have towers and regular soldiers called creeps to push back your efforts at trying to get to the enemy base and kill it. But yeah, very similar games. When you get to the differences between the two, they are very different the way you play them. First thing, like when you die in Dota 2, you lose money and have to wait for the spawn time to get back into the match. Now there is a spawn time in LoL as well, but you don't lose any money. And combine that with the fact that in LoL you make money a lot quicker in LoL than you do in Dota. It's a big punishment to have to die and actually lose that money, because items are quite expensive and you don't make much money in the game. So it punishes you more in Dota 2 for trying to push too hard or trying to engage the enemy when you're not sure you'll be able to win. Also, towers in LoL, they're very powerful compared to the ones in Dota 2. So if you can get to a tower, like your own tower, you have a safe haven there, like away from enemy players. So if you're fighting and you get injured down, you can run back to your tower and generally you'll be safe. Whereas in Dota 2, the towers aren't that strong, so it's not the safe haven it is in LoL to be able to just run back to a tower and trying to get away from being killed. Basically, overall, I think Dota 2 is a harder game to play, but that's where I find it better. You have less health pool. The abilities are way more powerful compared to how much health everyone has. There's also the highest chance that you'll get a player that gets too well fed that'll bulldoze the match, which makes it a lot harder for the enemy team to they have to work together a lot to try and bring down this much more powerful player, because they've managed to get fed a lot more than the others and have the better gear and everything. Whereas if you've been killed a few times, you don't have any of the gear that you needed because you've been losing all of it to dying. In LoL, heroes earn plenty of gold and it's easier to gain experience. You don't have to be as close to the fight. You can actually stand near towers safe and actually earn experience. All the players level up a lot more evenly, and even if your team is losing and you're dying, you can still afford to buy the good gear that you need. Having everyone even like that means trying to solo a group of enemy heroes or something isn't going to work as well, Whereas in Dota 2, if you've been fed right and have the right gear, one player can take out the entire enemy team. I feel Dota 2's got much better graphics, better sounds, and better voice from the characters, which gives the whole game this like awesome atmosphere. It has something I look for in games. I call it meatiness. LoL, a lot of the games that I play as well, WoW included, you feel like you're mashing buttons and things are happening, but in a game that feels meaty, you press the buttons and you feel more connected to what's happening. One of the things I liked in early Rift when it first came out was, you you timed your attacks and it felt more like you were making your character use his abilities. You were more in control of what was happening, and Dota 2 has that sort of meaty feeling for me, which I don't find in LoL. It might just be with the having more health and you're sort of mashing a lot more buttons and things to do it, but like both games though, they are both good for the late team versus team fight. LoL is still very good at that, but I find with the really effective support roles that we have in Dota 2, where you've got CCs, stuns and slows and things, turning people into chickens and stuff like that, it's much more of a dynamic fight. It's you've got all the different roles all doing their job in those big team fights and everything, and as well there's no sort of perfect way to do it. Like there's not in LoL they talk a lot about like meta game, and having like if you have the right characters and all the right stuff, you will just win regardless. Whereas in Dota, if you don't have a carry and you just have a whole bunch of nukers and things, it still can be a viable thing. Having one or two support roles, it all doesn't matter. It's just get in and play and see what's more effective. I think it just makes more of a challenge with Dota 2. So many things in Dota 2 that give it more of a challenge, make it feel more worthwhile to play, I think. And so overall, I think Dota 2 has better graphics, sound and atmosphere than LoL. It gives a harder and more rewarding experience when you're playing it. And yeah, hopefully some of you guys who play LoL give it a chance. And for the new players who aren't sure if it's worth it, I hope this video gave you something to think about, and that's what I think about the two games. Feel free to comment on what you think about the whole Dota 2 versus LoL thing, and if you like my videos, please subscribe. Bonehead out.